The views and opinions expressed in the following program are those of the hosts and guests, and not necessarily those of the staff or management of Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Corporation.
Where my girl got the sweetest.
See.
Welcome to
CinCityBounty.com.
You were off.
For those of you who don't know, we're named Sin City Bounty because we broadcast from WWDBTV.com in Sin City, also known as, around the world should know it now, Las Vegas. But we're not gonna start with that because Toxie has a top 10 list she wants to start with.
As soon as she can get it up.
I got it. No, I got it. How it took us a minute to get into a "that's what she said."
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. Like this is good stuff.
17 minutes to do this.
Right.
That's true. Okay, so here we go. Obviously, everybody knows that our president went to Puerto Rico today.
Yes.
El Presidente.
About 7 weeks after the hurricanes happened.
Now that they're almost recovered, the president's gone to visit.
Rebuilt an entire island.
Yes. Now that they've got 70% of everything working again.
Right. So
Trump's like, oh, the AC's back on. Time to visit.
I heard that they were requesting to be annexed to Canada.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Well, one of the things that Trump did say today was that he told them that they threw the nation's budget a little out of whack.
Now, I saw the video, and I am not at all trying to play the Cheetos advocate here, but it did sound like he's a total douchebag trying to make a joke.
It did sound like he was trying to make a joke.
Again, I did say total douchebag trying to make a joke.
Poorly timed, wrong audience. Know your audience. Like, that's the deal. Know your
Yeah,
audience.
like, make those jokes with Pence in the Oval Office with the doors closed and the Secret Service has been kicked out.
Maybe not there. So what I did is I put together a little top 10 list of things Trump could have said, which are worse than you threw the nation's budget a little out of whack. So these are the top 10 things, again, that Trump could have said that are worse than what he did. The first one, number one, does this mean I can't stop by the 19th hole? Or the bar?
That's true.
So this is, golf game off a little. Kept him a little busy. The next one, there's not as many hookers here as I expected. Oh, wait, this isn't Vegas? Okay, that could have been worse. The next one I love, if you watch the whole video, you get a paper towel, and you get a paper towel.
But only paper towels for 12 of you, because that's all that comes in a pack.
I was so befuddled when I saw that video of him passing out the paper towels. Like he had like a t-shirt cannon or something.
Here's what it was like. It was as if your house is on fire and he threw you a fan. That's what it was like. It was like, sop up. You put food and water? No. Paper towels.
But see, here's the thing. On this list, he actually did that, though.
Yeah, he did that, but he didn't quite do it the Oprah way.
Right.
So that would have been worse. It would have been a little bit worse. He still did that. But the way he did it could have been, worse. Oh, and then he could have joked like, you get a paper towel. No, just kidding.
Wait.
Bring it back.
People support this guy.
Yes.
What the
This is a comedy of errors. This is the very definition of a comedy of errors.
Every time something like this happens and I go, there is no way people can justify this. There is no way.
They find a way.
They can justify what they just said. Ba-bam. Ba-bam. Like, I'm amazed. I'm blown away.
I often wonder if I'm so far to the left that maybe I'm missing some of the point of this. Like, Is this what Republicans felt like for the last 8 years?
I think...
Except that our president wasn't the laughingstock of the entire nation for the, or not this
World.
nation, world for the last.
This is what I find hilarious. We wanted to keep this a comedy show tonight, so we're talking about President Trump.
We did. We talked
We
about
were
the
li-
fact
yes.
that people, and we'll talk more about, local events, but the fact that people do tune in
To be entertained.
and so what better thing to entertain you all
and
than...
in our back pocket at any time, all we have to do is pull out President Trump.
You know what? We just got to whip out our Trump card.
Listen, guys, it was either President Trump or poop jokes. So...
We had a whole show on poop the other
did,
day.
but,
Let's try to get away from poop. Of course, I asked that we got away from porn, but all last week was all about porn, so there we go.
Only half of it. We did talk politics.
Please don't tell me you did not find our pornographic actor to be offensive, because he was hot as fuck.
He was very hot.
Yeah.
I'll admit that he was hot.
I was kind of hoping he was back this week.
I was a little
Like,
taken aback when I
maybe
asked him
bring
what
him back
what his fetish was in the first, and with enthusiasm he said fisting.
Yes, apparently that's his thing.
Alrighty then.
Is
Why don't
is
you
there a
talk about it,
fisting line
Taxi?
on this list of yours?
No, there should be. The next one. 16 dead? That's nothing. My Chinese time manufacturing plant killed 25 last week. That was thanks.
That was me.
Oh, I'd love to grab Carmen Yulon Cruz by the pussy. Wait, what do you mean this mic is on?
Yeah, that would have been much worse.
Yeah, that'd be a little worse. You're all a little bit darker than I expected.
Oh!
Are you sure? Are you sure this is part of the U.S.?
That one she had to ask me if it was
I
offensive. And I know it
I was
is,
iffy on it.
which
I
is
was
why
iffy
I
on
said
it.
it was funny.
Yeah, I was iffy on it. I really was. But
I don't doubt that probably ran through his head though.
well, the fact that
All these damn water Mexicans. Water Mexicans, they live in the water. They're water Mexicans.
They live on an island in the water.
but they're Puerto Ricans.
It's big water.
We're talking about Trump, who can barely tell the difference between white people and whiter people.
Donald Trump actually described Puerto Rico as an island in the water.
Oh, we'll get there.
Okay.
We'll get there.
I like my islands on the land.
I like them in the sea. Islands in the stream. Is that what it is?
In the
I like 'em
stream.
in the stream.
Yeah.
Islands in the stream. No.
Instead of sending help, we're going to build a wall. A big, glorious wall around Puerto Rico.
I have been to Puerto Rico because a lot of my father's side of the family lived there when I was younger. I think they've all moved to Florida by now, but they have walls already. Puerto Rico had tons of forts built there.
Is it a wall around the whole island?
No, around the vast
but-
majority of it.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it needs to be
There's
like
a lot
10
of
foot.
there's a and they're beautiful walls. It's not like
They're like old castle walls.
That's
and
right.
shit. Oh, I'm fucking hot as
I've
fuck
never
on
been
this
there,
mic
but
fort
tonight.
walls.
I just
Four
Hello.
walls
what
with
he wanted
cannon
to.
placement parts.
Next, what he could have said that's worse than what he did. This is an island surrounded by water. Big water. Ocean water. Oh, wait, no, he actually said that one.
He did say that one.
That is an actual quote from your president of the United States of America.
The next one that he could have said.
He can
and
see Russia from Trump Tower.
Can't you?
This guy gives me a
The one
headache.
in Alaska.
Yeah.
The next thing he could have said that would have been worse is, you should feel very proud you haven't lost thousands of lives, like in a real catastrophe, like, Hurricane Katrina.
Oh, wait.
Wait.
He did say that. Those are words from his mouth that are true.
And the final thing that he could say, is, he probably won't though, but he could. This is the biggest top 10 list in the history of top 10 lists. Like, the biggest.
It's epic.
Epic. Bigly.
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 Bigly. This is the biggest top 10. So,
Bigly. I'm gonna
That
have to
was
get
it.
a Trump impersonation down. I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
work
you
on
gotta-
it.
Are you gonna work on it?
I am gonna work on it.
Okay.
It'll be terrible, but I'm gonna work on it. I'll have to wear orange face.
I mean, that's okay, right?
You know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bring in a Cheeto bag. We're gonna eat all the Cheetos, then I'll rub it all over my face, and then I'll do like a 2-minute clip or something like that at the end of the show.
Do you guys? I actually, I hate when people reference his skin color in regards to putting him down, because I just feel there's more intelligent things that we could say. Like my daughter would do it. She's like, that orange Cheeto, blah blah blah. And I'm like, no, like you don't have to go with that. There's other things that you could say that don't have to do with his appearance.
What?
Tiny hands.
But well,
I agree with you. I agree with you that you shouldn't attack people personally, as it were.
Right. And
Right?
so,
Especially when it comes to appearance, because we are advocates of, hey, we're all supposed to be looking different anyway.
However, if you are gonna look like a hot fucking orange Cheeto mess when you just rolled up out of bed and you got all the monies, he could have paid for a way better fake tan. I'm just saying, I can get a better fake tan for half the cost.
But you weren't here last week when I was talking about one of my favorite podcasts where they came up with names of our favorite was Nectarine Noriega, I believe.
well, I just believe that there's things that we could focus on, like the shitty things that come out of his mouth or the appalling things that come out, versus like I hate the memes that point out how he looks in his golf outfit, and I'd rather you say like, hey, look at him golfing while people are dying. Like, what a shitbag. I'd probably rather that. But I just hate when the argument is based on his.
I don't disagree with you.
But his base wouldn't understand.
Yeah.
That's why you have to have those pictures.
No, but
It's
we're
Peggy.
not.
We're shooting it at his audience.
I'm pretty sure
no.
we're not talking to his fan base.
We're kind of bringing
are.
ourselves down to his level. Sometimes that's okay. Just saying. Because,
What is that?
he would be talking about those 3 fucking fat bitches who talk about me on that radio show that ain't real.
He's like, I bet they're on their
It's all
periods.
fake news. Yeah. Not
They're all
yet.
bleeding.
2 more days, motherfucker. 2 more days.
You know what? I'm going to start sending him links to the show.
Could you? Can we copy it when we post it on Twitter?
Wouldn't that be the absolute best to get added on tweet by Donald Trump? Donald Trump at Sin City Bounty. What a bunch of fat fake news
What if he
bitches.
blocked us?
I would fucking rock that shit. Rock it!
Cindy says, why is his face orange and why is there a white ring around his eyes?
There you go.
Because
That's
he
what I
wears the
wanna
little
know.
glasses when he gets the fake tan on.
And
Is it a tan, but is it on purpose?
Yes,
Do
it's
we not
on
know He
purpose.
doesn't have like a vitamin, like an overabundance of vitamin
No,
C.
that white ring is from those little goggles you wear when you're in the tanning booth. That
Because
is on
he-
How can
purpose.
you get orange in the tanning booth?
Because he sprays on top of that.
How do you know this for a fact? Or you
It's
just
the
guessing?
only way, because I have people who are in the industry, that is the only way to get that
In
shade
what
of
industry? The Trump industry?
No, in the beauty industry.
Presidents?
In
What?
the beauty industry, people who do
The
this shit
reason
for a
that he
living.
looks
But
like
they-
that
but-
is he was trying to get on, what was that TV show, Jersey Shore?
Justin says
only
his
way
base
to-
can't read.
Unfortunately, I wish that were I wish that were the truth, but unfortunately, much of his base is
Educated white people.
well-educated, powerful white individuals with a lot of money. So they for the most part, they can read. I'm sure there's a huge handful that cannot, but the ones who are
He's
in
talking about-
power can.
He's talking about this base, but then that's name calling again. I know plenty of rednecks and Southerners that know how to read.
That's true.
This one. Right here. I could read since I was 16.
On
Just
the
16?
farm, we totally had to read.
As an early bloomer.
Justin, hashtag POTUS Bounty.
Hashtag POTUS Bounty.
But so let's go back to Cindy's. So with his face orange and the white ring, I mean, does he go into a booth and ask for that shade? Is it?
He probably has a set. He probably goes to the same salon and sees the same
Like
people,
Tan Fasting?
and he's
I mean,
been.
what is it?
I have no idea. He might even have them come to him at this point. But that white ring is from the little tiny glasses you wear over your eyes while you're in a tanning booth or when you're in a full body or automatic spray booth.
Haven't you seen any of those horror movies where the girls get caught in the tanning booth? They always have those little eye things over their eyes.
Right, but they turn out tan.
That's because that's a movie and it's painted on, and they're not in there for longer than they should be, and they also don't get the little touch-up spray.
But if you're
We're completely speculating about how Donald Trump gets his tans.
Does
Not
anybody know how he's orange? Like, I really want to know. Is it a deficiency?
No, it is his
purpose?
spray tan. It's not on purpose. He thinks he looks good.
But at some point, if everybody comments on it, wouldn't he be like, "Hey, can we dial it up a shade?"
At some point, when everybody comments on the fact that you're a total douchebag and shouldn't talk to you think he could, like, figure it out? No.
I think what it is
he
that
is a total
his
narcissist.
tan is
Signature.
geared towards analog television, but with the new HD, but with the new HD technology, it's just more vibrant.
If you watch him on your old colored TV tubes,
He looks normal.
on the 4K though, he looks kind of like a goldfish cracker.
If you adjust your bunny ears, adjust the bunny ears.
Because he's a little behind the times, so that's what I'm
A
saying.
little. This motherfucker's TV's still black and white.
Listen, Puerto Rico has water.
Big water, ocean water.
Ocean water. What do you mean he's behind the times? Did you know Puerto Rico has water around it? He is on top of it, people. On top of it.
A comedy of fucking errors, I tell you. Thank you, universe, for providing us with what will hopefully be less than 4 years of comedy gold.
No, it's gonna be fucking 8, and then somebody's gonna, I don't
No,
know.
it's not
He's
gonna be
get
8.
Another TV show. We will never be done.
I
It
would
will not be
like
8.
to say
I
that
will
it's-
switch my party if it becomes necessary to make sure it's not 8 years.
I did that last voting season. I switched parties.
I mean, do any of you ever think, like, I mean, at this point, I'll go with Pence. Like, at this point,
No.
Pence can't
No.
be
No,
bad.
Pence would be way, way worse.
All right, so
But
here's
he
our
wouldn't-
problem.
He wouldn't make us a national embarrassment.
Bullshit.
No, yeah, he would. He'd take us back to 1950
He's
before
one
the Civil
sneaky
Rights Act.
motherfucker.
Listen, you may not agree with his ideals, nor do I agree with his ideals whatsoever, but he, at least I feel, would be eloquent enough to hold a press conference.
That I agree with.
And one that other leaders, global leaders, would
Did you
not
see
be
the
watching and laughing.
Handmaid's Tale?
Yes.
No.
They were
Pence.
very eloquent.
Pence would be the beginning of A Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah.
I don't disagree with that either.
I didn't watch
So,
that.
but
My baby maker's broken, bitches. Booyah! Sorry.
here's the real problem, okay? And that is that 46.7% of eligible voters did not vote in the last presidential election.
Y'all
You say
gotta
this
vote.
every show.
And
Because
I
it's
mean
true.
it because
That's
I'm
right.
telling you, you motherfuckers better get your asses out there and vote this next fucking election.
You know what? If anything, in 3.5 years, when we go to vote again, hopefully Trump's current tenure, as it were, will make them go vote.
I'm hoping that the
Well, if
Republican
it
Party,
hasn't done it by now,
you know, they don't have to have the president run, right? The
Yes.
incumbent does not have to run. The Republican Party can
Johnson
choose a
didn't.
different candidate.
Yep.
They do not have to choose the president as their candidate.
Yep.
Here's to you, Republican Party, for doing the right thing in a couple of years.
Well, we'll see if they do the right thing
yeah, good luck with that shit.
in a few years.
Oh, he'll throw a fucking fit. Throw a fit. I want them to do it just to see his reaction when he starts talking about how stupid the Republicans are. Because that's what he'll do. That's what he'll do. He'll call out the entire Republican Party and about how moronic and idiotic they are and about how they're in league with those leftist assholes to keep him out of the presidency.
He's only been in office for, 200 and something days, and he's already called the Republican Party pieces of shit.
Yes.
Many times.
I do hope to all of my Republican Party member friends, because I know I got at least 2. Mostly family. And
spouse. If that's the case, then I have at least two.
Right.
Family.
Family.
I'm well beyond.
Please, please, please do your very best to choose a different candidate.
We have to do the same thing. Bernie's not going to be able to run. I'm not a fan of Hillary.
Hillary will
No,
never
I'm gonna-
win. Hillary will never win.
She
Now,
won't.
here's what the Republican Party
sure.
needs to do that will get the Democrats on their side, and that's get Condoleezza Rice to run for fucking president. Because I know a whole shipload of motherfuckers who will switch parties to vote Condi in. Condi would be amazing.
Or Colin Powell.
Or Colin Powell. Ooh, Colin Powell.
I changed to Republican to vote for Colin Powell.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
Or I do believe Chris Rock is
Wait,
running.
wait.
So we
you
do
don't
have
have
options.
to change parties.
Not
do-
Chris Rock.
you do-
Only if you want to vote
Kid
in the
Rock.
primary.
Kid Rock.
Yes.
So
Yes.
In Nevada, you have to be registered for a party to vote in the primaries.
In the primaries, but not in the general.
Right,
Right.
but if I
Primaries
want,
count.
but if I want Condoleezza Rice in, I got to make sure she gets on the off of the primary ticket and onto the ticket.
Right. That's the only reason I changed parties from nonpartisan for the 20-something years or
I did the
18-something
same.
years
I
from
did the same.
nonpartisan over to Democratic, so I could vote in the primary, and
I did the same.
my vote didn't count. Well, it counted, but it wasn't enough. So
That's because you had a whole shit ton of fellow Democrats who did not vote at all.
Well, and then there's also gerrymandering.
Well, there's that too.
that's a whole nother show.
That's a whole nother show. We'll get into that in about 2.5 months when
All
we
I
really
keep-
start campaigning.
Just to share really quick, all I keep doing is thinking about the red vines that are over on the
on Johnny Fever's
desk.
table.
And I was wondering how long it would take you to say something.
I'm sitting here going.
It's been almost 20 minutes.
I can't help it. I love red vines. Like, they're the best.
Justin loves you. He says, Toxie for Prez.
I would make an excellent president.
Do you think so, really?
No, I would be pretty shitty. I'm fat. Do not tempt a fat girl.
I'm old.
If,
I will
if,
dive
if you're
over
gonna
the
tease her, you
desk.
got to do it on camera. So angle yourself.
They are soft. They are soft.
They're
I can't.
fresh.
I'll get some after. I won't. I don't like.
I can
to
have
eat on
like a
camera.
nibble. Like that's all I can have.
Oh, well.
No, just like a
I'm gonna
nibble.
rub some on me, and then you can eat it.
That's all I can
That's a
have.
whole nother show.
No, that's not going on the air. That's from my private spank bank.
That's for the spank bank.
So, dear Presidente, please stop being a douchebag. I mean, it's not going to happen,
He's
but I can
supposed
ask.
to be here in Las Vegas tomorrow.
No, thank you. We're good. We got this.
So, because I have this awesome venue of a radio show, I want to give a shout out to my friend Lilith, who just posted a comment on a Review Journal article about how the president was going to be here tomorrow, and she said, "I hope he
Stays in PR.
I hope he concentrates on Puerto Rico because we got this." And I want to say for Vegas, that is the hashtag that we should be using. Vegas Strong is awesome. Pray for Vegas is awesome.
Hashtag we got this.
Hashtag we got this.
So,
Wait, somebody really quick. Somebody posted a photo, and it was somebody sitting there. I don't know if it was one of you guys at this panel, and like catastrophes are happening on this screen, and it says, "Here's your options of what to hit." And it says, do something, do something, do something, do something, do something. In the middle is pray.
Yeah.
And
That
they
was
hit pray.
Thoughts and prayers. That was God.
Thoughts
did
and
that.
prayers. But then some people were like, yeah, that's what you do is you pray. And I'm like, or you could do something. That's an option as well.
One of the things that went through a lot of people's heads when the shooting happened in Orlando, I felt kind of worthless here in Vegas, so social media, just spread the word, let people know what's going on. That's as much as I can do here, right? A donate. I'm sure they had a fund that I could donate to. But living here in Vegas, in the location of where something happened, there's plenty that you can do. There's tons that you can do. Starting at 2 a.m. Mind you, this tragedy ended...
we should go back and start.
all
for
right,
anyone
let's start
who's
from the
missed
beginning.
it.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
for anyone who lives under a rock in the middle of Russia, Sunday night at the Route 91 Country Music Festival, held in the Mandalay Bay Outdoor Sports Event Center, there were 22,000 people in attendance. Jason Aldean was playing on the stage, and at about 10:15-ish,
10:08.
10:08.
somewhere in there, 10:08, people started hearing popping sounds. It sounded like fireworks. In Vegas, that happens all the time.
Yep.
About 45 seconds, 5 seconds, within a minute, people realized it was not fireworks, it was gunshots, because people started falling all around them. Jason Aldean ran off stage, and panic in a mass shooting, as it usually does, ensues.
Everybody dropped to the ground.
Everyone dropped to the ground, which made them still targets, which made it worse. So we'll get into survival tactics, I think, maybe a little bit later if we have time. But what happened is a lone gunman, not multiple gunmen,
A terrorist.
a lone terrorist.
First, really quick, if we, at least, we can't control what everyone else says, but if we could leave out the phrase lone, what is it, lone wolf?
Yeah, let's not
that
use the word
everybody
lone
uses,
wolf.
Because if his skin was any other color, lone wolf would never be the term that they're calling it.
He is a terrorist.
So, he's a domestic terrorist.
Domestic terrorist, single-ish dude from Mesquite, Nevada. Also owns property in Reno. He's a very wealthy man, a real estate investor,
Big time gambler.
big-time gambler. He checked into the Mandalay Bay on the 28th. So for all of those people who think that the poor, frail 64-year-old dude couldn't carry 20 guns up the stairs, he didn't have to. All he had to do was put him on one of those big old wheelie carts and wheel it up into the hotel all by himself, and he had 3 days to do it in.
Yep.
So he broke out the windows in his 32nd floor, very large suite.
Two-room suite.
Two-room suite, and started just shooting into the crowd randomly. As of today, there is no motive known. His homes in Mesquite and Reno have been raided. Well, not raided. They were served a subpoena or a search warrant.
No, his home in Mesquite, the garage is tore down.
Oh.
The doors tore
Rated
off.
is a good word.
Yeah, rated's the right word.
Okay, so they raided his homes. They found multiple guns in multiple locations. Everything
More than
from
multiple. Just to throw out there, more than multiple. They found an insane amount of weapons.
So
I believe in his room it was 16,
I've heard
23.
I've-
I
Yeah.
heard 16 to 23. Another 9.
in his car, right?
No, I believe it is at his Mesquite home.
Five
There's
and
been
five
a lot
in
of different numbers. Because
Yeah.
at one point I heard 27. Today I saw photos. Don't look at them if you don't have to. I don't know
So,
why I did.
Oh,
but-
Here's the
I've
other
got a
thing.
bitch about that too.
Here's the other thing. Don't look at any of the photos.
No.
The photos you are seeing right now have not been released by the Metropolitan Police Department.
Right.
They are not official photos. There is no way for you to know if any of the photos or videos that you are looking at are real. Unless they come off of the Metropolitan Police Department's website, the sheriff's website, or the FBI's website, they are not factual evidence. Videos and photos can be and usually are doctored in situations like this. Here are the facts as we know them. More than 50 people have been killed as a result of the shooting.
58.
59.
58. 59 with him, according to the last briefing by Metro.
Now, this is not people who were killed at the shooting. There is only 20-something people killed at the shooting. Most people died from their gunshot wounds afterwards, or have died from trample injuries because of the panic. Not everyone died that day. There are still people in the hospital. That number may go up. There are still people who are in critical condition in the hospital today.
Yep.
So, any numbers you hear, take them all with a grain of salt. More than 600 people have been injured. That were not all injured by gunfire. Actually, only about half of those people were injured by gunfire, and a lot of them were not critically injured by gunfire. A lot of the injuries came from the tramplings, from the mass mob movement afterwards. Because when we are panicked, we are herd animals, and herd animals just don't pay attention to the other animals around them. It's sad, and there's nothing much you can do about it except try to stay out of the way. So, facts on the table. One dude. There were not multiple shots. There were no other gunmen anywhere else in the city except for the lunatics who are normally here. There were no bombs. There was no... Now we'll get into the conspiracies. This was not an inside job. The people in the casino were not paid off to look the other way while this guy toted up these guns.
In fact, the security guard alone got shot through the door.
Mandalay Bay security and all of the staff at that hotel did their very fucking best to help and aid the police in finding this guy. And it is through them, through that security team at the Mandalay Bay, through the officers who were on duty at the time, not SWAT. It was not SWAT who located the gunman. It was Mandalay Bay security and the officers on scene at the time. SWAT came and broke down the door. They did not find the gunman.
Right. There were already Metro Police in the Mandalay Bay attending another event, being used as security for another event that was happening. They gathered themselves together, went into the stairwell to go up and see what they could find.
So, sorry, it makes my stomach churn. All of you sick fucks out there who are telling people that this was an inside job, that this is the government, that the police department is trying to spin this as a PR move for them to keep you from knowing that there were other gunmen out there, that there were other people getting shot. There is no evidence for any of that. There are no other people from other gunshots within the vicinity that were brought to the hospital. There's no evidence to support this fucking cranked out, crazy fucking bullshit coming out of your mouth. And it pisses me off so fucking much that you would take this opportunity, this tragic fucking event, and spin it so that you get to play some fucking drama on your social media website pages. Fuck you. People died. People are still dying because of this. You don't need to try to make it any worse. You don't need to try to make other people fucking panic. Fuck you. Just fuck you and your crazy ass fucking conspiracy theories. One gunman, a shit ton of guns, a shit ton of ammunition, and let's be honest. I'm a gun owner. She's a gun owner. She's not a gun owner yet, but will be one day.
I won't, but I might have a nice taser.
We'll take her shooting at least.
We'll take her shooting at least. There is zero need for any civilian to own a fully automatic weapon of any kind. No need. I don't mind you having a handgun. I don't even mind you having a semi-automatic 9mm pistol for home protection. A shotgun, a high-powered hunting rifle. Fine. One-shot wonders. Great. You want a sniper's carbine rifle? It's a little on the edge, but at least you're not going to mow down 200 people in a matter of minutes. There is zero need for assault rifles to be in civilians' hands. Zero need. You do not need a fully automatic M60 machine gun at all for any reason. Ever. And the only people who need them wear a uniform that has a bunch of different colors on it, and they go out to shoot people who are trying to shoot them with it.
I want to talk about a little bit about the heroism. I read some stuff today from someone that I respected at one time. It just blew me away about what she said about how the aftermath of this event was being handled. And it totally pissed me off. But at the event, the people who attended the event were so heroic. Yes, maybe they trampled each other, but they were so heroic. I don't know how many times I heard stories of husbands protecting wives and mothers protecting children and friends staying with friends to treat their wounds, to do triage, even though that they were being shot at. It was amazing. And people who were driving by took strangers into their cars.
Oh, there was one where somebody was pulling by with a truck, and they said, hey, can we put people in there for you to take to the hospital?
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, absolutely.
And then this ended about 11:30. My nephew works at the Mandalay Bay, and he was locked down in his restaurant. And then when I finally heard about it, which was right around 11, I texted him, asked if he was okay. And about a half an hour later, they had evacuated the Mandalay Bay, and he was being picked up because he could not drive home. So everything was calm about 11, not calm, but everything was wrapped up.
Organized.
Yes, around 11:30 at or even before. And so I was on the phone with my nephew almost, for quite most of the night. Just a few hours later, 3 hours later, 2 o'clock in the morning, lines started forming at blood banks all over the city to donate blood.
The blood banks didn't open by 9. By 9 a.m. when they opened their doors, the wait was 4 to 5 hours long. By 5 o'clock in the evening, they had to start turning people away because they'd run out of room and then run out of collection kits.
And I believe storage as well. There was no
Yeah, they ran out of room.
because
And local people took up collections to bring water, snacks, chairs,
Sunscreen.
phone chargers, sunscreen to
Umbrellas.
all those people standing in line to give blood. So we got this. That's all I got to say. Hashtag we got this. The people in Las Vegas were amazing. There are people now still wanting to donate. You have to make an appointment to go get your blood taken if you want to donate blood, which you should anyway. I don't think appointments are open until Friday right now because they're so booked. Mm-hmm. So
here's my answer to all those people who talked about our terrible response to this, or about how fucked up we are that we left the casinos open, or about how fucked up our mayor is because she's married to a guy who 30 years ago defended a couple of mafia guys in court. Number one, our casinos are the lifeblood of our state, not our city. The casinos in Las Vegas and Reno are the lifeblood of every small town in this fucking state. Our taxes from the casinos don't stay here in Vegas. They go all over. Number two, Vegas is a place of joy, entertainment, and fun. And that is what we provide to the nation. And during the middle of our tragedy, we did not stop doing that because Vegas shines. Vegas will always shine. Number three, don't you fucking say a word about my mayor. My mayor and her husband have done so much good for this community. So much good for this community. Mayor Oscar Goodman, fabulous guy, kind of bad at giving press releases. He's a vodka drinker.
Maybe a little drinker, maybe a little handsy. But the good he did for our community, and the good that his wife did as his wife for this community, is what got her voted in. Not her name, not who she fucks at night, which is probably not Oscar, let's be honest. You know, they both got boyfriends and girlfriends and they do it all over. Whatever makes you happy. But don't say shit about them. If you saw what she looked like at the 9 a.m. press conference the day after, you know she'd been up all goddamn night. She got woke up at 10 o'clock at night, or probably pulled away from Pablo at 10 o'clock at night and said, ma'am, we have a situation. This is what's going on. And she stayed up all night handling her mayoral duties. And she looked like fucked up shit the next day at the 9 a.m. press conference. You could tell she had been up all night. And fucking huzzah, Mayor Goodman. I will vote for you again and again and again until they tell me I cannot vote for you. I have voted for your husband, I have voted for you, and I will keep voting for you, motherfuckers. Move on, friends. And fuck you, Denise Dumars. Oh, you called her out. Oh, damn.
I will never buy another one of your books. I will never recommend you to another human being on earth. As a matter of fact, I plan on sharing your screenshots with everyone in our community because they need to know what a terrible, fucked up, insensitive fucking cunt you are. You're goddamn right our casinos stayed open. We will not let a terrorist take us down.
In fact, most of those casinos offered sanctuary for people.
Gave up free rooms to the people who could no longer stay at the Mandalay Bay because there wasn't room for them and they couldn't stay in their room on the 32nd floor. Gave up rooms to the family members who flew in because their family members were shot and are in critical condition in our hotels. In less than 24 hours, our city, our mayor, in conjunction with Governor Sandoval and the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department, raised over $3 million to be used to pay the medical bills for all those people who came here. Not just the Vegas citizens, everyone. Everyone who was injured and ended up in the hospital will have assistance from our city, our mayor, our governor, and our fucking police department. So, fuck you people.
It's actually over 4 million now.
Well,
yeah,
and
my last report was at 1 p.m.
Yeah, and that's just through GoFundMe.
There's a lot of high dollar separate
private donations.
In fact,
even the Raiders donate it.
If you go, if you would like to donate, $5, $10, whatever you got, if you can afford to, go to GoFundMe and just search for Las Vegas Victims Fund. It's trending right now on GoFundMe, so it should appear right at the top. If you are local and you don't have computer access or don't want to pay online, you can go to any Nevada State Bank. There's also an account there that you can put money in. And it's to pay for funerals, it's to pay for medical expenses, it's to pay for whatever all of the victims need.
Right. So a lot of corporations donating a lot of things.
That's
I
right.
know that
The MGM Corporation donated $1 million on their own.
Airbnb is donating rooms.
Cindy says, I'm so proud of all the people in the city and how they've come together. We have a very good friend, a very good mutual friend. She drives Uber, and Uber was giving away free rides for anybody who needed one that night. And then the next day they were giving free rides to anybody who wanted to go to a clinic, and she was out. She said, I'm going to go home, get some rest, and then I'm going to head out and help whoever I can.
We have another friend of the show who that night, and I won't specify because I didn't ask if it was okay, but was actually outside there when it started. And I said to this person, go home.
Yeah.
Go home. They don't know what's going on yet. Go home. And they chose not to go home. Instead, they spent the rest of the rest of the night out giving free rides.
Vendetta says, I remember being a chaperone on a church trip to New Orleans. We were there when those cops were gunned down, and that day I remember that at the church event we were attending, all of the kids attending were lining up to give blood. It was amazing. Leanne says, Mayor Goodman was at the hospital all night. Justin says, I went to the Cromwell the next day and they had the lounge all messed up from the people sleeping in the rooms. And Zappos is matching anything up to $1 million in donations. So
that's our community. That's how we handle it. We don't close casinos. We march on. We shine. Fucking Vegas strong.
Mayor Goodman said we were resilient. And we are.
We are very resilient. You're goddamn right we're resilient. We will keep moving on. Terrorists will not stop us from doing what it is that we love to do. That's bringing joy, entertainment, and a little bit of wackiness to your everyday fucking lives.
Right. Everybody loves coming to Vegas. That's what we're famous for.
I hate living in the desert. I love living in Las Vegas.
Yep. Even though we rarely go down to the Strip.
I haven't been down there in almost a year.
We rarely go down there, but that's the first thing we do when company comes to town.
Well, it's the first thing they want to do when company comes
That's
to
the
town.
first thing I let company do when they come to town. And I'm like, hit me up when you're done.
Like, I'll give you some directions on how to get in the back way. Even Google don't know about it.
I'll tell you something. If you live here, those of you who live here know. Those of you who don't, if you live here, we actually live in houses. We don't live in the casinos, number one.
And we live far away from the Strip.
Number two, once you live here, it's very hard to move away. I remember I moved to Grand Junction, Colorado for about 6 months, and I couldn't believe that everything rolled up at 9 o'clock. The Circle K fucking closed at 9 o'clock.
Circle K's don't close.
Right now, at 1 in the morning, we could go out for a full-on dinner. Steak, sushi, whatever.
Breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
If we wanted to.
We could go have scrambled eggs and vodka anytime we want.
That's right.
We need to buy Takis. We go to the store and buy Takis.
I love it. I
There
love
are
living here.
nail places. I used to go to this one nail place,
Like
and it
2
was
o'clock in the
open
morning.
so late at night. I was always in there with industry girls, and so I would be sitting there.
She
and
means
they're
hookers.
Well, and strippers.
And strippers.
Hookers
Because
and blow 24 hours.
But they would either be getting ready to go to work or off, but they wanted to accommodate people with the different shifts, and I liked it because I was done of my mommy duties. And, I could go out and have a little bit of time to myself. So.
Vegas is a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
Yeah. For all of you out there who have given your love and support and your thoughts and your prayers, we do appreciate you.
And I will say that and I know we all have, but I received like a lot of messages saying, aren't you guys in Vegas?
Yes.
Is everyone okay? So we appreciate all of that as well.
And then the last thing I want to do is give a shout out to all of our first responders, to LVMPD, and just all the heroes.
They take a
that
lot
we
of
have in
shit.
Vegas. Yeah.
They take a lot of shit.
I'm Alexia.
Toxie.
And Sierra.
And we'll see you guys next week. Vegas strong, baby.
#Vegas strong.